How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of my Shudder exclusive DVDs. So these things, for those of you who don't know, Shudder is a streaming service that specializes exclusively in horror movies. So if that sounds interesting to you guys might want to check that out. But one thing that I really do like is that their exclusives, they've been pretty good about putting them onto DVD for us physical media people. And so yeah, I saw these a bit ago. The three that we're going to be covering in this video were the first three that kind of popped up into the stores, and I saw these. I'm like, what are these? Shudder exclusives on DVD, and I, thought that was interesting, and I picked them up, and then ever since then, once or twice a month, it seems like Walmart has gotten a new movie from Shudder, and I have quite a few of them over there that I've built up over those months, and I realized I hadn't covered them on the channel yet. So in this series, we're going to be taking a look at these Shudder exclusive DVDs 3 at a time till I get caught up to the present, and then I might start doing them as they come out. But anyway, there is one thing. So this banner is how I'm distinguishing them. There's a banner on the top. It'll be these lines that are usually black, a Shudder exclusive, but we're going to skip ahead to the third one. There's technically two things there. There's a Shudder exclusive and a Shudder original. They both have the same banner. It's the word that's different. And the difference is a Shudder exclusive means it's streaming exclusively on Shudder. Someone made it, they bought the streaming rights to it, that's the only place you can get it. A Shudder original means that they made it themselves. It's still the only place you can stream it, but it's just, is it there exclusively or did they actually make it? So that's the difference, and yeah, it'll say on the top what it is. But anyway, the first movie we're going to check out is Last Ones Out. This is a zombie movie that takes place in Africa. You get this guy who, he's there in an African hospital and he wants to make it back to America, but before he goes, he really needs to get his appendix taken out. He wakes up and he's like, have you guys done it? And they're like, oh no, there's been an influx of patients. We only have one full doctor here. And he goes under again, and this time when he wakes up, his appendix is still in there, but the hospital's been completely overrun with zombies. He teams up with this girl who's a doctor in training, and tries to get out of there. So the team is him, her, and she's like European, and then two locals who tried to get out, and he still has to have his appendix taken out. So there's a little bit of a time thing there. But yeah, the setting is what really makes this movie stand out, because it's set in a different part of the world that you don't normally get to see, because, most movies going through Hollywood, you almost exclusively see American settings. This is a different part of the world, and it's good to, kind of travel through film, and also having, all these places like days walks between each other. It's, really a trek in this movie. Other than that, you do also get the main character who's, relatively self-centered at first, and he has to, of course, learn to help other people. But other than those two things, it's kind of a generic zombie movie. I mean, it's not bad, just, other than the setting and, kind of the character, although you have kind of seen this type of character before, it is relatively standard. There are a few things with this movie that are kind of weird. Things like the girl gets a smear of blood on her forehead, and then it cuts to 2 days later, and it's still there, and it stays there the whole movie, and the movie takes place over the course of days and days, and she never wipes it off, and they even pass by like rivers and stuff. So I'm like, what's up with that? And then there's scenes like when they're walking away from the camera. If you look close, you can usually see their mic packs underneath the backs of their shirts. And a few weird choices, like in one scene, a guy has a machete and he's walking along and they pass a river, he just throws it in. You're like, no, you're gonna need that. Why did you throw it in the river? But yeah, some weird choices, and the thing with the appendix gets solved like way too easily, way too early, and that could have been a cool timer. And then the ending is a little, but overall, it's pretty good B zombie movie. Nothing to really get too terribly excited about, but it's a good enough zombie movie with a different setting. So, if you guys got Shudder and you like zombie movies, it's worth kind of one of those movies you can spend Saturday afternoon watching to pass the time, There's the disc on the inside, last one's out. It's like the cover, but the graphics are arranged over there and then on the side there. And there's the ad for Shudder that's going to be in pretty much all these things. And this code TRYSHUDDER30 is not unique to me. It's in every single one. So if you guys want to use it, you can. You're not taking it from me, not stealing or anything. These are all things that they have the streaming to. I don't think any of them are stuff they made themselves. It may have been, I don't know, but these are stuff that you can find on Shudder. That's from Channel Zero. This is Nicolas Cage from Mandy, and this is from a movie called Revenge. Mandy's pretty good. It's a little weird. I haven't seen Revenge yet, and Channel Zero, it was good enough. It's been a while since I watched it. Anyway, there's the back of the movie. I'm going to put it in the slipcase before I show you the back because it's a little too shiny with the plastic. But yeah, there you can see he's going to get his operation, and there's a few stills. So this it's okay. The next one, probably my favorite from the batch, but that may be because I'm a slasher geek. This one is called Ruin Me. So this one is about this guy and his girlfriend, and the girlfriend kind of gets drug along. She's not really into this, but they go on this camping trip that's kind of like a murder mystery dinner, but instead of a murder mystery, you're going in the woods camping, and it's a slasher type deal. So you go in and you find clues and you do puzzles, and there are people in the woods, and it's a slasher setup, but it's all fake, but maybe it isn't. If you guys have seen The House is October Built, where it's all about haunted houses, but maybe there's some elements that are real, and it's not all just an act. The premise at the beginning is kind of like that. This kind of goes for kind of has a bit of unnecessary twist syndrome, where you could have just had this basic concept, but towards the end they kind of overcomplicate it, and it makes the whole thing more and more improbable, when they could have just taken the base and run with that, because that could have been really, really good. As it stands, it's fine. The ending is a little bit okay. That's a stretch, but it doesn't really ruin it. But yeah, you get the guy, the girlfriend, you get two people that take it way too seriously, and they're both kind of like goth people, and they're really competitive, and then you get the guy that's kind of a nerd, and then you get the mysterious guy at the group, and yeah, it's kind of fun, especially, you see them solve the puzzles at the beginning, and there's some weird, like, more dangerous puzzles at the end. There's one with water and chain and stuff, and then, of course, you do get the multiple killers in the mask, but, of course, are these people working with the game, or are they real? My favorite out of the bunch, it's pretty good. Not the greatest thing ever, but it was a fun watch, although the ending did get a little too much. There's a picture of one of the people at the end, some of the other ones on the back, a rip-roaring ode to the slasher genre. It's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and open it up. There's the Shudder ad again, and there's the disc, and the disc is, again, pretty similar to the front cover, but overall, I had a fun time with this one. I like it, and if it sounds like the kind of thing you'd be into, I'd recommend checking it out. It's the best of these three we got here. The last one we have is Gwen, and this is the Shudder original. It's the one they actually made, not the one that they just bought the exclusive streaming rights for. And if I'm getting that definition wrong between exclusive and original, I mean, feel free to correct me in the comments. But anyway, Gwen, you flip it to the back. Gwen is a young girl whose life seems to be collapsing around her, struggling with her mother's mysterious illness, her father's absence, and a group of angry villagers threatening to take her farm. Gwen must find the strength to guide her family through the darkness, but as a malevolent presence begins to take grip of her house, it becomes apparent that there is a greater evil that may be too strong to overcome. Now, why I read that whole description on the back is, quite unfortunately, I've forgotten a bunch of this movie. I watched it not too long ago, but sadly, this movie is very forgettable, and I don't particularly want to trash it, but, you know, basically, you get the young girl, her younger sister and her mother, the dad's gone, they're having struggles keeping their farm going, the people want to take it away from them because they really don't have any money, and the mother's going a little crazy, and there might be a ghost or something. It felt like it was kind of trying to be the witch, but couldn't quite get it, and it kind of sad, and yeah, it for the most part wants to be a dark drama, and every now and then only remembers that it's a horror movie, but like so quickly I forgot a lot of this just because nothing really stuck with you. There was nothing super impactful because there's not really much to the story. It just drags on about how sad the characters' lives are with nothing really happening. You know, maybe they'll go and they'll beg someone, you know, they need medicine or something. Oh, please give it to me. And then maybe they don't have money for something else, and oh, it's sad there. And it just drags like that. As far as positives, the acting is good, and this actually does have quite beautiful cinematography. So really great cinematography. That's the one thing with this movie. If you want to look at pretty rundown landscapes, it's got that there. And I don't really want to bash on this too much, especially because, you know, it does have good acting and cinematography, but not really much happens in this movie, sadly. But, I mean, it's okay, and there might be some people that are into this, especially if you're really big into beautiful visuals. There'll be some people that this movie really relates to, and if that's you, that's good for you. It's okay if you like it. But yeah, it just didn't click with me. There's the disc for Gwen, and for some reason, the Shudder ad is missing. I would not have lost it, and I bought this new, so they must have just not put it in there. I don't know if that's this release as a whole, or if that's just my copy, the guy at the factory missed it. I don't know, but I can tell you I wouldn't have lost it. But anyway, there's the disc for Gwen. Again, same thing, but rearranged to fit on the disc. But anyway, overall, obvious ranking of these movies. Ruin Me is the best. Last One's Out is pretty good too. Gwen's the last one there. It's okay. But anyway, so you had these movies. Two of them are good. One's okay. But the thing is, and part of the reason why I really wanted to start this series is these movies do actually get significantly better. There's, as they go on, you get, you know, the exclusives are kind of, you know, things, you know, that they found that, you know, are in kind of the foreign or the indie circuit that were legitimately good and didn't get a good enough release, and they picked them up, and their originals get better and better each time as they, you know, get more experience and bigger budgets and know what to do. So these are all okay, but they do get pretty good. So I'll have a part 2 for you soon. I'm hoping to be able to do this series every other week. So part 2's coming up. That's Boar, the Night Shifter and Mon monsters. But anyway, that being said, I do about 95% horror on this channel. Pretty much horror movies. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and stick around. There'll be more of that. And to everyone who's watched this far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Have a good day, and more of this to come. Oh, yeah, relevant playlist at the bottom there, too. Alright, have a good day.